Now, I like this book a lot, like a lot. I remember I was listening to it. It was on audio, but then I was like, dang it, it was like 3 4 hours long, and I was like, crap, dang it, I wish I have a shorter audio. But I do listen to audio. It's just that uh, I need a way to like quickly reread it so I can remember. This is Seth Godin. All marketers are liars slash tell stories, right? Now I remember there was the lady on YouTube. I can't remember, and she was showing me showing people what books to read for entrepreneurs, and this is a great book for entrepreneurs. Whether you're an entrepreneur, internet marketers, or online entrepreneur, whatever, this is great. But my version, when I take it out, is that we all tell stories, right? To ourselves, to people, and we don't remember much of the facts and the details, but we remember, unless you're left-brained, but we remember more of the stories. Because the story that we play a very important role of how we buy the products of or how we change our life through stories. Because I use stories more than facts and figures because it motivate people and inspire people to do something great with their life. And that story brings, because I believe in what I do, and what I believe is that I can do it. Why can't they? So all marketers are tell stories. So by Seth Godin, and he said, don't just tell me the facts. Tell me a story instead. Be remarkable. Be consistent. Be authentic. Tell your story to people who are inclined to believe it. Marketing is powerful. Use it wisely. Live the lie. Humans make purchasing decisions largely based upon emotional impulses because the story that plays in the head and then it causes them to act the way they act. You believe things that aren't true. Let me say that a different way. Many things that are true because you believe them. That's why many people believe in that they're not good enough, they're not worthy. It's all based on self-talk, affirmation, and how they tell the story, how they're going to succeed or win. It's based upon uh, what happened in their past and what did happen and what they experienced because the experience color their lens or how they see the world. If they have a harsh life, they will see life very harshly. But we can change the story, which changes the lens, which create a new story. Here's the first half of this simple summary. We believe what we want to believe, and once we believe something, it becomes a self-fulfilling truth. Like I said, any lie that you tell yourself, ultimately, with enough repetition through the subconscious mind, it becomes the truth, and you will begin to live that truth and behave that way. If you think more, if you okay, so I'm trying to think. If you think that more expensive wine is better, then it is. If you think your new bot is going to be more effective, then she will be. If you love the way a car handles, then you're going to enjoy driving. It's that sounds so obvious, but if it is, why isn't it so ignored? Ignored by marketers, ignored by original, rational customer, and ignored by our leaders. Here's the second part of the summary. When you are busy telling stories to people who want to hear them, you will be content to tell the story that just don't hold up. Lies, deception. The thing that is lying doesn't pay off anymore. That's because when you fabricate a story that doesn't hold up to scrutiny, you get caught fast. That's why I think this book is one of the most important I've written. It talks about two sides of universal truth. One that has built every successful brand, organization in Canada, and one that we rarely have a word to describe. Here's are the question. I hope you will ask your boss, your colleague, your clients, and after you read this book, what's your story? Will the people who need to hear the story believe it? Is it true? There are small business that are so focused on what they do that they focus to take time to describe the story of what they do, and on and on. If what you're doing matters, really matters, then I hope you take the time to tell a story resonate, and a story that can become true. I have no intention of telling you the truth. Instead, I'm going to tell you a story. This story about why marketers must forsake any attempt to communicate nothing but facts, must instead focus on what people believe and work to tell them stories, then add to their worldview. Make no mistake, this is not about tactics or spin or little things that might matter. This is a whole new way of doing business. It's a fundamental shift in the paradigm of how ideas spread. Either you're going to tell a story that spread, or you will be irrelevant. Stories make it easier to understand the world. Stories are the only way we know to spread an idea. Marketers didn't invent stories, they just perfected it. You're a liar. Everyone is a liar. We tell ourselves stories because we're superstitious. Stories shortcuts are shortcuts we use because we're too overwhelmed by data to discover all the details. The story we tell ourselves or the lies that we make. It's far easier to live in a very complicated world. We tell stories about products, service, friends, job seekers, the New York Yankees, and sometimes even the weather. We tell our story that can't possibly be true, but believing those stories allow us to function. We know we're not telling ourselves the whole truth, but it works, so we embrace it. We tell the story to our spouse, our friends, our bosses, our employees, and our customers. Most of all, we tell stories to ourselves. Marketers are a special kind of liars. Marketers lie to consumers because consumers demand. Marketers tell the stories and customers believe them. Some marketers do it well, others pretty bad at it. Sometimes the story help people get more done, enjoy life more, and even live longer. Other time, when the story isn't authentic, it can have significant side effects and consumer pay the price. The reason all successful marketers tell stories is that consumer insists on it. Consumers are used to telling stories to themselves and telling stories to each other, and it's just a natural place to buy stuff from someone who's telling us a story. People can't handle the truth. Yeah, people can't handle the truth. That's true. That is correct. Yeah, why? Because it's you. Most people rather live in denial, in the lies, deception, the idea, the opinion, rather than facing it, rather than facing it head on and telling yourself, maybe this is not true, but maybe it is. And then soon we've discovered that these lies that we told ourselves, that's nothing. But it doesn't stand on thing any because for one reason, does it make sense to tell yourself a story that it's that the world the way it is like why is it black and white, why everything contradicts each other, why why people listen to this, why we have to do this. Everybody tell themselves a story based upon their environment, the past, what they do in the present, what they know too, and it influences their judgment on how they buy products and services. It influences the story that they're going to tell, right? It's like me. I buy a book and I go tell, or I do a book review and I tell you it's great. But also I tell myself a story that these books helped me along my journey and that it could help others to live their life the way they wanted to, not based upon how society want you to be. It's time to own up to that story and destroy that story that you have created for yourself. And it's time to create a story that's empowering, that's so uh, that's so amazing that you start to believe it, and then you will become a magnificent storyteller. Because every time you tell a story, it becomes true. And then what happens is you experience in your life because we live based upon the story that we tell ourselves, the affirmation, the truth, and therefore we change the color of the lens, the texture, and then we go out into the world and we believe that, and therefore we tend to uh, attract or tend to um, what was it? Yeah, attract or gravitate toward people who are like-minded people. What got marketing? Marketing is about spreading ideas, and spreading ideas is the single most important output of our civilization. Hundreds of thousands of citizens have died because of bad marketing. Religion thrive or fade away because of marketing choices that make children are educated. Companies are built, jobs are gained or lost, all because of what we know and don't know about spreading ideas. It's easy for the media and the public to focus on a small child trapped in a well, or on a wrecking audition on eBay, but some ideas spread far and wide and have a huge impact, while others' ideas, even more valuable, urgent, seem to fade away. If marketers could tell us a better story about the really urgent stuff, taking your medicine or sending a peacekeeper where they belong, we would all benefit. If you care about the future of your company, your nonprofit, your church, or your planet, marketing matters. Marketing matters because whether you're not, you're in a position to buy a commercial. If you got an idea to spread, you know you're a marketer. Great book for any entrepreneur that's selling products or services. Now, for me, I used to tell a story like everyone else that I don't believe in me, that I'm not worthy, I'm not smart enough to be able to do something great in my life. But we all can do great things in our life, right? We can all learn skills. We're more intelligent than we think we are. It's time to wake up to that truth. It's time to shatter that story that you've been telling yourself for years. Uh, that you're not good enough, that you're not smart enough. Why aren't you good enough? Huh? People will believe myths and lies all the time. Everything from, from every story that we tell, bring a fabricated lie. That it distort the true actual story that we tell ourselves. In each subject, I notice each subject people tell lies. That whether it's you're trying to learn, if you're an entrepreneur, you probably heard the law of attraction. People fabricate lies and not understanding how it works, so therefore it doesn't work for them. And then there's another lie that we tell ourselves, that the rich are evil, that the rich are cunning, the rich take from the poor. How can that be, right? But there are lies that we tell ourselves. But what if it wasn't true? What if the rich actually give more money than most people do ever will? Because they accumulate the money and then it's like, Bill Gates give a lot of money away. Um, and then we tell ourselves a story that the world's evil, but it's not. How can it be if we choose it to be? So anyway, that's all I got today. If you enjoy the book summary or Seth Godin Book, I highly recommend you buy it. If you're an entrepreneur, subscribe to my channel, like my video, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.